Have you ever seen a saguaro cactus in real life? They are incredible. They in fact might be my favorite plants on the entire planet because they're just so majestic. But capturing their beauty is kind of a daunting task because they're such a simple thing, but yet they have so much presence. So today we're gonna do a very loose interpretation of some saguaro cactus. And I'm gonna start by taping off the edges of my page because I just think it looks nice when there's those nice crisp edges. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. And then I'm actually gonna start with a simple sketch of some of these different saguaro cactuses. And you can really do these with as many or as few arms as you want because there are some that have none, there are some that have a whole bunch, there are even some that kind of look like an octopus. So really just have fun with creating the arms on these. Now the painting we're gonna be doing today is fairly simple, so I wanna add a little pizzazz to it. So I'm actually gonna grab a fan brush and I'm gonna start by adding a little scribble scrabble to the background. You want this to be a really light wash, so that means more water in your brush and then just barely touch your brush onto a couple of the colors that you want in the background. For mine, I've touched into a little bit of yellow and a little bit of pink. And I'm just gonna take this brush and just scribble on the page and maybe make some different loops. I just want a couple of these colors lightly in the background. And then in order to do the rest of the painting, we need to let it dry or make it dry. And then once that's dry, we're going to treat each of these segments as their own thing. So if there's an arm, that's going to be its own segment that we're going to be painting separately. And the way I'm going to treat these is I'm going to wet them either just with water or sometimes with a little bit of color. And then I'm just going to have a lot of fun dropping in a bunch of different colors. And you could really choose whatever colors you want. The colors that I chose to use are greens, yellows, teals, pinks, and then a little bit of a gray that I'm going to shadow along some of the edges, as well as some areas where the arms are attaching to the main cactus. I recommend having fun with this bit and treating this as a fun way to play with wet on wet so that you get lots of different fun reactions. And then once you have your main stems filled in the way you want them to be, again, we need to let this dry or make it dry. And then once that's dry, we're going to treat all of those arms in a similar way we did to the main stems. Lots of fun colors, just drop those colors in, maybe consider a couple shadows along the bottoms of them, and then one more time we need to let it dry or make it dry. Now you may have noticed that I went out of the lines a little bit on some of mine, but that's okay because I have a plan on how to kind of bring them back around and also add a little bit of texture that will add a little bit of fun. So I grabbed 3 colored pencils. You could do this with whatever colors you want. The colors that I thought would fit with my composition were a teal, a dark blue, and a pink color. And then I'm going to add vertical stripes using all of these colors all around these cactus or cacti. And the idea of these vertical lines is that it's going to kind of hint to those ridges that are on the saguaros that make them so beautiful. Sometimes when a subject is a little bit intimidating to me because it's very regal, I find that taking it back to more of a base level where I just get to play with fun colors and simple lines allows me to have fun with the subject instead of it being so scary. You should try this one.